From the Detroit Free Press, it's Friday. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. Earlier this week, when Timothy Waters, the FBI special agent in charge in Michigan, was asked why agents had raided Detroit City Hall and the homes of 2 council members, he said it was because Detroiters have a right to a city government that's free of corruption. Over the years, the city's residents have endured plenty of corruption and scandals. From Andre Spivey, a councilman who was accused this summer of accepting bribes, to Charles Bowles, a mayor for only a few months in 1930, the city has seen its share of scoundrels. Federal prosecutors charged Spivey with 1 count of conspiracy to commit bribery. He has pleaded not guilty. Councilman Gabe Leland was sentenced to 2.5 years probation for state misconduct in office. He was indicted in 2018, but continued to serve on city council until his guilty plea and resignation in May. Charles Pugh, Monica Carniers, Lonnie Bates, and Kay Everett are the corrupt quartet, a fallen foursome of Detroit City Council members charged with multiple felonies. Kwame Kilpatrick, who was mayor and initially seen as the man who had saved Detroit, was charged with multiple counts of perjury, conspiracy to obstruct justice, obstruction of justice, and misconduct. William Hart, Detroit's first black police chief, went to prison for embezzling $2.3 million from a secret police anti-drug fund. Richard Reading, Detroit mayor from 1938 to 1940, was known as Little Dick. He was short, but also a big con man. He was mired in scandal over police payouts to overlook $10 million gambling racket. And Mayor Bowles, he was branded as corrupt, incompetent, and in bed with criminals. He was swept out of office by Frank Murphy, the man for whom the city's Hall of Justice is named.
This is Todd Spangler, Washington correspondent for the Detroit Free Press. With Afghanistan in chaos as American forces prepare to pull out after 20 years, military contractor Erik Prince from West Michigan is making news. The Wall Street Journal this week reported that Prince was offering to fly people out of the war-torn country for $6,500 a seat. Prince was also apparently willing to get people from their homes to the airport for more. Prince, who is former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos' brother, is the founder of what used to be known as Blackwater, a private security firm. The Journal couldn't say if Prince actually has the ability and resources to follow through on the offer. It's also a question whether Thursday's attacks in Kabul have hurt private missions from leaving the country. Prince is a former Navy SEAL who has a long history with private military contractors. At one point during the Trump administration, he was even involved in talks to privatize the conflict in Afghanistan. It's important to say the Free Press has no more information for Afghans and others trying to get out of the country. The U.S. military, meanwhile, has evacuated tens of thousands. The White House this week denounced anyone who might be trying to make money off people who are desperate to get out ahead of the August 31st deadline.
This is Minna Arshad with the Detroit Free Press. Internationally renowned Dutch designer Piet Oudolf has graced Detroit with a masterpiece of nature. This Saturday, Oudolf Garden Detroit opens to the public. Spanning across 2.5 acres on Belle Isle, the public garden holds 32,000 perennials and grasses, organizers said. 90% of the plants are from Michigan growers. Oudolf's other masterpieces include the High Line in New York City, Hauser and Wirth in Somerset, United Kingdom, Lurie Garden in Chicago, and Maximilian Park in Germany. Oudolf's latest masterpiece on Belle Isle saw some unique obstacles during construction. When flooding hit Detroit in record numbers in 2019, Oudolf redesigned the garden so it was 3 feet off the ground. The garden's public ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held at 10 a.m. Saturday in front of the Nancy Brown Peace Coalition. Organizers said that Oudolf will not be attending due to travel restrictions.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department, previewing the final dress rehearsal for the Lions. Tonight at Ford Field, the Lions host the Indianapolis Colts for the third and final preseason game of the summer. Now, if you're looking to see the guys the Lions will depend upon this season, tonight's not the night for you. Many of the team's starters, including Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, and TJ Hawkinson, won't get on the field, but it'll be a final audition for many players looking to make the 53-man roster. The deadline for teams to make those decisions is 4 p.m. Tuesday. In today's Free Press, Dave Burkett highlights the 5 guys that need to really impress, including former Wayne State linebacker Anthony Pittman. Tune in tonight at 7:30.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.